Hi everyone. So today I want to speak about why sometimes it's better done than perfect. Better done than perfect is the concept that I get to think about every time I do freelance work, because you know how it is. You do work for a client and you want things to be pixel perfect, you want things to be 100%. Sometimes you even try to, over deliver and make things 110% for the client. But as we know, there's limits, there's limitations, time limitation, energy limitation, the amount of projects we work on, and just life happens. So here's my story. I'm working on a book now. It's about work and life and millennials and what to do with it in 2016. But anyway, let's just call it a project, okay? I have to write it, I have to edit it, I have to design it, I have to create a web page for it, and also I have to create a pre-sale web page for it because I want to offer it to my followers much before I really publish the book. So the deadline for the book is actually mid-September, and this is why, because in the end of September I'm going to Mexico for 3 weeks with my wife for a honeymoon, and I wanted the book to be out there before I go abroad because I don't want to be available on my smartphone or for interviews or whatever when my book is out there. So I have this limitation of end September. I decided that I want to publish the book in mid-September, which means that the pre-sale page is supposed to be ready kind of now, actually kind of 2 weeks ago. But here's the thing, it's not ready, okay? Many things are not ready. I finished writing, I didn't even start editing. I'm not sure about the name of the book. I'm not sure about how to create the web page of the book. And then I had to do something because, if I'm not going to do it, I'll be stuck with this project for only after the holidays. So I decided 3 days ago that I'm gonna go for the concept of better done than perfect. Okay, and what does it mean? It means that I have to come up with something. I have to, create some web page and decide on some cover and some name for the book. And even though it might not be the final name and design of the cover of the book, I just have to put it out there, okay? I have to put it out there. So it made me really stressed because I had to, take fast decisions. But on the same time, today, when I was finally uploading the page and the design and the cover and the pre-sale for the book, I felt so good. Okay, and here are a few reasons for why it was much better than doing this than waiting for it to be perfect. So one of the big advantages is the feedback that I can get. Okay, so it's right for any kind of project. When you try to show your project to someone and you're waiting until it's totally perfect, it means that you work this additional 20 to 10% that are the hardest one to make everything perfect. But then sometimes you show it to your client or to your audience or to your followers or whatever, and then they see and they have, a lot of good feedback. They say that maybe the message is not right, maybe the design is not so good, and you already worked all these hours to make it perfect, right? So it was actually much better for me to come up with something, show it to my audience, and then start to get some feedback. So what I did is I created some draft for my webpage cover, message, and everything. And for the last 2 days, I showed it to good friends of mine, asking them to give me some feedback. And then I had the opportunity to make it so much better, and then to upload this whole thing on air. And now I have almost 2 months to finish the project. I was talking about a personal project that I'm doing for myself. What happens when you work with a client? So I think it's just the same with the client. If you want to show the client things that you're doing and you're waiting until it's all perfect, several things going to happen. First, good chance you're going to be late because it's really hard to make everything perfect. Second, and worse, is that you will be on time, but on the day that you show him what you've done and time is over and you already invested all of these hours, they don't really like what you've done. So I think that it's not just in my personal case, but in the general freelance case, it's much better showing your client the 80% version than the 100% version. Now, there's a problem with it because some clients, they don't know how to look at 80%. They imagine that this is the final work and it doesn't matter how much you tell them it's not the final thing. They look at it and if they don't like it, they start to be, pissed or just be negative about what you've done. So what you have to do about this is change your priorities and think, what are the parts of my work that my client can value the most, and what are the parts that he doesn't care about so much? And when you decide on which 80% of the 100% you want to do before you show it to him, decide on the parts that you think they would value most. So that's my suggestion for today. I wonder if you agree with me or disagree, and I want to hear more about your experience with your clients. And do you think that better is done than perfect or it's not? So let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. See you next time. Me and also Ranset, my co-founder who does it a lot, to earn much more per client, okay? To have a recurring income